Hello, my beautiful Dominate souls. All right, what is up? How are we feeling today? We're going to get into the nitty gritty of positioning. Oh my God, I freaking love this so much because not enough people are doing this in the boudoir industry. Not enough people are understanding the power of positioning. Position matters in all areas of our life, specifically in marketing and in our boudoir business. So, what I want you to do before we dive in, I've got my beautiful little note sheet here filled with all sorts of examples and um, just notes so I don't get sidetracked because this is a topic I'm super passionate on and there's a lot to get through. So, number one, I want you to recognize how you're currently marketing. You probably have your regular boudoir session, a flash sale, a model call, and a last minute opening, right? That's the normal gist. So just take a minute and get a little awareness around what you do, how you do it, what's your go-to, like when you notice your calendar is feeling empty, what do you do? What's your plan? What's that sense of normalcy that you have? And what I'm going to challenge you to do is open yourself up to create new ways of how you position your offer. So, first off, let's talk about positioning when it comes to pricing. So, if we go into sales psychology, because you know that I love incorporating science and woo woo, and buyer behavior leans very heavily into sales psychology. So we know that 99 versus 100, 99 feels much safer to the consumer. So 99 is going to look much more appealing to somebody who is thinking about your services versus if they see that double zero. So we want to lean into the safety factor before they're booking the session. So if they're scrolling Instagram, if they see you on TikTok and you're running a model call with a 199 session fee, that is going to send a subconscious trigger to their brain that says, "Ooh, that's a good deal." And that 199 or that $499 session fee is going to look so much more desirable than a $500 session fee. Now, don't freak out. You're going to make up that $1 on your back end. If $1, if you're like, no, I have to make my 500 on my session fee, then we've got to do some hella tweaking because you should not be making your money in the session fee. That session fee is just a bonus. You want to be making all of your money down here in your collections. So, the positioning of your pricing, if you feel like you are struggling with booking last minute openings, model calls, or just regular sessions, it could be your positioning. So, for example, currently at my studio, our session fee is $750. However, when they inquire, they get an automated email from me and it gives them the link to book for a discounted 349. So that 349 looks way more desirable than 750. A lot of my model calls, creative calls, things like that, they book in at a 199 session fee instead of 200, okay? So we want to lock them in on the session fee with that 99, with that safety. So 349, 149 versus 150, same thing applies. Don't be afraid to mix and match your numbers and try it up because remember, it's all the same thing. Like the session fee really doesn't matter. Make sure it's enough to get them in the door, but still look desirable. I have found that after 2020, after there was an economic change, okay, but that doesn't mean people are spending less. It means they're spending differently. My clients in 2022, I had a 4,800 minimum. So back in 2022, they had to pay 4,800 to book with me. That was my lowest collection. And it worked out at that time because I wanted to take on less sessions because I was scaling the mentor side, this side of the business. But it was more difficult to get people in the door because that positioning of the collections was so high right off the bat. And this goes back into the anchor swoop hug method. If you haven't watched that training, make sure to do that. The Calls That Convert workshop. And now my collections start at 1,500, but my average is still 5,300. They're still going with that 4,800 collection. So my clients are spending the same amount of money. I just have a higher volume because of my positioning. It's easier to get them in the door if they're booking on a $199 discounted session fee versus, well, it's $4,800 to book in. Can you feel the vast difference in that? So, positioning and pricing, let them feel safe. Utilize that sales psychology of like, ooh, 49 versus 50, 99 versus a double zero. And then in your collections, this is where we get to give them that luxury pricing, that luxury investment, that high-end experience. Collections, for example, could be 2,800, 3,900, 4,800, 1,500, 12,000, whatever. You don't need them to end in 99 here. So my collections end in 00 or 50. They're not like 14.99 or, 17.49. The collections are where you get to develop and you get to anchor into that luxury investment and experience because they feel safe with you. Because you've gone through all of the other modules in Dominate to where you've pre-educated them on your most popular package, you've pre-educated them on your most popular bonuses and collections that they know right off the bat they're going to go for that 4,800, and that feels normal and that feels safe. So that is how we position our pricing for the best consumer experience. It makes them feel so safe. It makes them feel excited. They really don't have to second guess the investment. And then with your pre-education, they're ready to go and they're ready to dive in after being in your audience, after being in your awareness for so long. And that's when you get to kind of vibe into that luxury experience with your collections. So that makes sense, right? We're feeling good. So now pricing positioning is easy. Once you have that locked in, it's going to be such a game changer. Next time you try to do a promotion or an offer, play around with having the barrier to entry into 99 or the 49 instead of just like an even $200 for a model call. It's going to look way more desirable and way more juicy. Now, additionally, I forgot to add this in. Let's pop over to this screen just to make sure I'm here. Okay, we're going to pop over here. And I just remember this positioning of the discount. So on a model call on a Black Friday sale, last minute opening, dollar amount off looks better than a percentage. Okay, so $500, ooh, not 5,000, $500 off looks better than 30%. Okay. People are going to resonate more with the dollar amount versus the percentage. So even if you're doing a 40% discount and the 40% would be higher, the client would still rather look at $200 off, okay? Because they're going to resonate unless the percentage is 50% off, because everybody loves a good 50% off, okay? So positioning of the offer. Dollar amount looks better. So $500 off, $200 off looks better than a 30% off. Make sense? Okay. I just wanted to add that in here. Now, positioning of our offer and not just the pricing. How we position the offer will determine how well the offer sells. So if you have not watched the Go Time workshop, you need to go do that. If you don't remember, or if you're not aware of if your audience is nurture-based or adrenaline-based, go rewatch the Go Time workshop, and that's going to really, really help. So we have to know right off the bat when we're positioning our next promotion, our next launch, our next model call, whatever, is if our audience is currently nurture based or adrenaline based. So here's an example of positioning an offer. Last minute opening. How many of you guys have tried to do a last minute opening and it doesn't work? It flops. Normally, these don't book well for my audience. I can book them, and I have booked them lately, but it does take a lot of pushing. It takes a lot more pushing than if I were to position it differently. Now, I'm fine with pushing and I'm fine with putting in more work if that's the energy I'm in. However, because we're business owners, we will ebb and flow, and I am not always in the energy of wanting to hustle and push. So when I am not in that energy, that's where I call upon my positioning expertise and I switch things up. So last minute openings don't normally work well, but you want to know what did work well? My fuck it, let's go sessions. And I have the exact framework that I used for this in a different module that you guys can go through. It's my last minute opening framework. But the fuck it, let's go sessions are literally just a last minute opening positioned in a different way. It's the same type of offer, it's the same dates. So normally it's a date that's, like a month or two away versus most of my clients book 9 to 18 months in advance. So my fuck it, let's go sessions. Let's go here. We're going to pop this up so we have it later. All right. Here is an example of my last minute opening post, okay? We can see this right here. It says, initial when you see this, my loss is your gain. We've had October 6, 2023 cancellation, the last day of the year left for 2023. Snag this last minute opening with a session fee of only $199 and $500 off collections. Do you see that pricing positioning right there? $199 and $500 off collections. Cannot be traded or applied to an already booked session. For all the details, simply text my business number with the word cancellation with your name and email, and we'll get you all the details. This is a normal last minute opening post. You're leading with the price, the discount, and inviting them to take action and book it themselves. So this works really well for an adrenaline based audience. So let's scroll down. Here's another one. Last minute opening, save $1,050. And it says, you're always the one in charge, making the decision, getting the kids ready, organizing the home, taking care of work things. It all comes back to you. Listen up. It's time to honor you. It's time to fill your own cup so that you can continue to serve all of the people you love. July 7th has opened up as a last minute opening and you save $1,051. This is your sign to treat yourself and give your brain the break it deserves. Put yourself first this summer. Nurture your own soul. Email me for all the juicy details. Cannot be combined with a client who's already scheduled, etc. So even this right here, I paired the subconscious marketing of allowing them to see that, I know you're busy. I know you're the one making all the decisions, but it was still an adrenaline based offer, having them email me for the juicy details, okay? And even though it was leading with $1,000 off, this was still harder to book. So let's scroll down. All right, here's another one. Happy Tuesday. We have a rare last minute opening for August 1st. This is your sign. Save yourself the regret. Book the session. Normally our session fee is $750, but you get it for only $99 that day. You see the positioning of how juicy that looks? This is finally your chance because you're worthy of investing in yourself and experiencing the essential freedom of a session just for you. Notice that this is my business pillar, the essential freedom and sexual liberation. For all the details, simply text blah, blah, blah with last minute opening. So those three examples are all different ways that I phrase my last minute openings. And you can see that this was for August 1st and I launched it June 27th. She did, all of these ended up booking. However, it took multiple posts, took multiple days of really launching this. And I'll have this exact framework for how I frame a last minute opening launch in another training because it's very in-depth. But look what happens when I reposition it as a "fuck it, let's go" session. It's still a discounted session with a collection discount. So some of these last minute opens, I included a collection discount, and other times I just do a session fee discount. It's whatever I'm feeling. That's not important. The important is the positioning of it. So here is what a "fuck it, let's go" session actually is. Let's go to this screen. Perfect. Okay, fuck it, let's go. This is my Dubsado application. Um, Scrolling down. So here is one of the posts about it. September, I'm challenging you to jump in front of my lens. I'm offering 3 Fuck It Let's Go sessions. During the Fuck It Let's Go sessions, you're throwing your fears aside and going for it. These sessions are available on Tuesday and Friday. You'll receive a discounted session fee of only $199 and $700 off all collections. So I had 3 last minute opening September dates. I booked them all and they were application based. So instead of saying, hey, I've got a last minute opening for September 9th, 15th, and 27th, I gave it a name. I gave it a title. I gave it branding. It's got its own Dubsado form. Positioning and creating some flair and like a quick branding graphic in Canva can totally sell your session so much easier. Because, one, it goes back to nurture-based. If your audience is nurture-based, it gives the consumer, the buyer, something to relate to. It gives them something more than the dollar amount because, believe it or not, it's not normally the price that's stopping people. It's some internal belief of, they're not worthy enough, they're too busy, it's not the right time, their body's not correct. So, like, yes, the price is nice, but that's why it's harder to sell a last minute opening when we're just focusing on price. So here's another fuck it post. I know your favorite outfit from 2019 probably doesn't fit the way that you desire it to, thanks to the extra pandemic love. I feel you. Things look different these days. You're still holding on to memories of what your body used to be. It's time to create new visions and new memories in your current body. You slipped into your own shadows and didn't even recognize it. It's time to change that, babe. I'm here to help and give yourself the care that you give others. You get to be the ultimate giver to others, and you get to give yourself the same love. I know the thought of stripping down on camera feels absolutely terrifying, but I'm here to guide you. I'll pick out your outfits, pose you from head to toe, and even design your album so you're not just sitting with a folder of digital images on your phone for years to come. Your time is now. September, I'm challenging you to jump in front of my lens. I'm offering the blah, 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 and I go into the fuck it, let's go details. Okay. These were the only 2 posts I had to make July 5th at 8 PM and July 6th at 12 PM about the fuck it, let's go before I filled the spots. It was that easy because it's different. It shakes up your news feed. They're not used to it. Our audience becomes immune to last minute openings and it doesn't give them enough of a pull. So when you combine subconscious marketing of painting the picture and storytelling of like, wow, I know your outfits don't fit and I know you're afraid you're not going to look good, but I'm your solution here. I'm the one that's going to pose you. I'm here to do everything for you. I am the solution to your problem. And when you pair it with some fun branding and it's application based, they feel chosen. It's still a discounted session fee for a session less than 2 months away, and it's still a collection discount. So this is literally 100% last minute openings for September into its own new thing now. So the Dubsado page was actually just that post, it's time to create new visions and new memories in your current body. And then it's got the dates that it was available. We start at 10 AM, non-refundable $199, 700 off all collections. Collections begin at 1,500. And then it's got, first name, last name, phone number. Why do you want to do this? Do you want an album or a folio or metal? Do you want to hear about payment plans? Boom, they send to me. Keep your applications so simple. We don't need to know what colors they wanna wear. We don't need to know what features they like best. We don't need to know their life story until after they're a client. So many photographers are blocking people from booking because you're too detailed during the inquiry phase. We don't care. We do not care until after they're booked in. It's scary for people to reach out and wanna book a session. So let's not scare them by bogging them down with a huge, long application. Just get the bare minimum, get the basics in there, and then you get to build that customer relationship after they're already in your world, after they've locked in their session date. That's when they can open up and be vulnerable. So, you can see the difference of how easy it was to book a last minute opening versus a last minute opening positioned as a different type of session, which is the fuck it, let's go session. So that's my challenge to you, to watch your positioning of your pricing, and then positioning of your offers in terms of what you're talking about, as in like what you're titling them, how you're branding them, how you're launching them. And I guarantee that will ramp up your bookings.